Guyman here with King of Pressure Wash, Pressure Wash Help. And tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about growing and scaling your business. And the reason why I got on this topic is a couple reasons. I've gotten some emails this week, I've gotten some messages this week, and it's going to be pretty awesome of what I've got coming on here. And so and I'll talk a little bit more about it here shortly, but this is something that I've seen some people talking about. I know people that are trying to hire people. I know people that are, even if you're just trying to start out. I talked to one of the messages come in, said, man, it's just like the business isn't there and it's slow. And yes, it is January. And if this is your first year in business or second year in business, it could be slow, but we're going to hit on how to scale your business for maximum growth. And this is something that I'm going to talk a little bit about marketing and different things about marketing and stuff like that, because this all ties in with each other. But before we get there, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing on this awesome Wednesday night? I know we got some nastiness weather here. It's all rainy and it's not even snow or even fun like that. So that is what we get to deal with. What is up, Servant Soft Wash? Jason, what's up? Good evening from DFW area. Awesome, Tommy. We got the Cleaning Swan from North Charlotte, North Carolina. I remember he was at one of my classes, which was awesome. Determined pressure washing, great. And so let's talk about first. I'm going to kind of hit the book, and I'm going to hit all of these are all going to tie into each other. So some of you may have remembered, I can't remember his name, Mozzie, something like that. And he actually messaged me today, and he was asking me to look over his business plan and to look over his business plan to see where he's going to be at this year. And I was just like, wow. And so my book of the week is a book that he took to heart and he took action on, right? And so when he took action back when I had him on, there was a bunch of you who were like, holy crap, I'm going to do that. And so the book that he took to heart, and I would recommend it, is, if I can pull it up here, close that out. Is this book right here, The 10X Rule. He took this book and ran with it. Yes, Moses was his name. And so he literally took yard signs to a whole new level for a lot of people. And so when he sent me his plan for next year, I was like, he's 10Xing it again, or 6Xing it, I believe. And so this is something that is a great book, and I highly recommend you to listen to it or read it. You will get a lot out of this, and it will make a lot more sense for this. If you're doing planning, it helps with that because you 10X it. It just makes everything better. And so Uncle G, Mr. Grant Cardone, it's a great book. I highly recommend this book, and it is a great read, and I would recommend that book here. And so with that, the thing that I'm going to do, the tip of the week, and yes, it is a plug for me, but it is Money Bushes, yard signs, moneybushes.com, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit about moneybushes.com. But Money Bushes is how Moses got to where he was at. And he was putting out like 400 to 600 yard signs a month. And so it is awesome to see where he is at. It's awesome seeing him doing what he's doing. And so this is things of why we want to do. And when he showed it to me and scaled it, and he gave me a number of how many signs he's wanting to do this year. And I was like, that is freaking awesome. So his goal for 2023 is 6,784 yard signs. Now he's got the math of figuring out how much it's going to make him to in about 3 to 4 months. And so how many people this year are going to put out over 6,000 yard signs? I know it's crazy, but it works for him, and it works for a lot of people. And this is going to be a multiple six-figure year for him. So it is definitely something that you can do. It's only excuses. This was a success story that came out of my membership of a yard sign. This week has paid off. This was a while ago. This wasn't 21 hours ago. This was a while ago. This week has paid off, and those little things we call yard signs. I just landed my first true big house wash job off of one of those great things for $2,700. Packages are key, just like Jason says, and that yard sign, right? And so yard signs, yard signs, yard signs. So my question to you is how many yard signs are you going to put out this year? So Mr. U.S. Contracting put 4,000 yard signs minimum. Yard signs work 100%. They do. Love those yard signs. Moneybushes.com if you need to order any. It does help me get a little bit of money coming in. Doing some door knocking tomorrow. Things are slow and I'm ready to wash. All right, so Money Bushes. That is what I'm going to hit off of is Money Bushes because we love Money Bushes. Money Bushes are what are an amazing thing. It's made people hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Go put them out. The only thing keeping you from making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars is you not putting them out. Have a question, Jason. What do I tell a customer when they say the tiger striping on the gutters is part of the organic growth and should be included in the basic house wash? And you say it is not part of the organic growth and it takes a special chemical and that's what you're dealing with. So you can deal with this two ways. You raise your house prices and you include it, or you offer that as a package, and if they don't take it, that's just part of it and move on. Quit worrying about it so much. So that's what we got to deal with. People like that. Cool. So let's talk a little bit about how to scale a pressure washing business, how to scale it for maximum growth. And this is kind of important as we look into our year of 2023 and where do we want to go at? How do you want to grow? Where do you want to grow? How big do you want to grow? Some of you may not want to grow. Some of you may be happy making $50,000 a year. Some of you may be happy making $100,000 a year. Some of you may be making $150,000 and you don't want to add that employee. You don't want to add more headache. And so, but there is ways that you can also do this still growing a little bit, but maybe raising our prices and, all of those good things like that to do this. So the first thing we need to do is we need to do research, right? We need to know if we had started a business last year or if we're been in business, where are we getting our current customers at now? Where are we getting our higher average ticket customers at, right? Who's our tickets over $750? Where are they at? And so the reason why this is important for when we are scaling is because we have to figure out where we want to put our marketing dollars at. Now, like I was saying about Moses is going to put out 6,000 yard signs, right? So 6,000 yard signs, it's going to make the phone ring. It's going to make the phone ring. And so, but what I see a lot of times is when we start seeing the phone ring and we start getting busy, a lot of times we quit putting out our yard signs. We quit doing our 10 rounds, our 5 rounds. We quit asking for referrals. We quit doing this because we're just so busy. And so this is where it comes in to start scaling our business. And so there's some ground steps that we need to take when we start getting our thing. And one is systems. We got to have systems in place. You got to have systems how to answer the phone. You got to have systems how to run the truck. You got to have systems of when you put employees in this, because if we're going to scale, it's going to have to take employees. It's really hard to scale without employees because it's going to be scary when you let that truck go out that door without you in that truck no more. And it's going to be one of the hardest things for 90% of you to do. And so it can be done, but it is very scary. And if we don't have good systems in place and we don't trust them enough to run the truck, then it's going to be a system that's going to fail on us. And so, part of having systems is understanding and letting them know what is right and what is wrong, and let them make decisions. When they call you, don't tell them every decision. You got to do this, this, and this, right? What's your opinion on it? Get their opinion on it. And so when you start doing this, we can start having employees, and now we can start stacking on top of each other, and now we can start growing, and we can start making more money, and we can stop working on the truck as much. And this is how we can do this. Now, it's not easy. I get it. It can be hard at times. Sometimes this was the hardest thing for me to do. When I started my business in 2012, I never thought I'd have employees and grow it. When I started growing it, it was all the way up to 2016 before I came off the truck 100%. And I just had to let things go, right? When things got screwed up, we fixed it, we taught them, and we moved on. You're going to have issues. I mean, when even I was on the truck, I had callbacks, right? So don't sit there and bah, 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 right? And now, if they're not following protocol, if they're not, doing things, and this is the 5th time that we've had to tell them that they're screwing up, then that's a different story. But if you only tell somebody one time and get pissed off at the second time, well, you're going to have a long road ahead of you of not having employees, because employees is definitely a way that we have to scale this business. There is ways that we can grow the business, but it's hard to scale the business, right? Scaling means adding more people to it. Now, if we're just starting out, well, we got to figure out how to get the customers, right? We got to figure out how to answer the phone. We got to figure out all these other things before we even got to worry about this. So really, there's 2 different systems that we got to really put into play: how to deal with the truck and how to deal with the phone. Now, if you really love the truck and you want someone to answer the phone, then you figure out how to hire that person out. If you really think that you're the best salesman, and 9 times out of 10, you are the best salesman because it's your business, it's your money, then you probably need to be answering the phone and doing that. And then you got to find someone for the technician side. And so this is what we have to do to be able to scale our business. And, this comes back all the way back down to having a goal, right? What is your goal? Where do you see your business in 5 years? If you see your business with you on the truck and you only doing it on 5 years, well, guess where you're probably going to be at in 5 years? You still on the truck and you still doing your business. Now, if you see yourself with 10 employees and we're going to do $1.25 million, then guess where you're probably going to be at? You're going to be at the $1.25 million at the end of there. And so these are why it is important that we sit there and we do this for the side of getting people to do this. So the next thing is, so we got to get systems for operations, right? On the truck, we got to get systems on there. We also got to get systems in keeping things simple in optimizing our pricing and marketing strategy, right? Where does our pricing go at? Do we have where we do everything, or do we keep it where we become focused and we do very good at house washing? We do very good at roof cleaning and concrete cleaning, right? And that we're not doing deck cleaning, and we're not doing this, and we're not doing that, and we're not doing all these 50 things to do to keep you busy, so that way you never really become an expert at one good thing, and you're that expert for that, and you're the known go-to person for that side of it. So we got to optimize our pricing and our services. I see a lot of times that we're going to do junk removal, we're going to do gutter clean, we're going to do, which I want you to do Christmas lights, but we're going to do all of these things, and we never focus on one thing. And we got our hands into 25 things. We're going to do landscaping. We're going to do, we're going to do everything, because we got to get money coming in every which way we can. And what you learn is you never know how to optimize your pricing. You never get good at it. And so it takes you way longer. And so these are things that we have to do to optimize our business, so that way we can do it. And the next thing is our marketing, right? Exactly. You're right 100% there, Jeremy. Pumpkin plan. We got to pick off the suckers so that we can get our biggest pumpkin. And then when we do that, we can get more out of this big pumpkin instead of all these little suckers that we didn't pop off, and because we thought that was it. So if you want another great book to read, it's called The Pumpkin Plan. The Pumpkin Plan is by Mike Kalkowski or whatever his name is, and it's a great book also, and I would highly recommend that too. And then what is our marketing strategy? You know, a lot of times I see this is something I'm seeing more and more of. Oh, look, this person says to do this, and this person says to do this, and this person told me to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. And, you know, that kind of brings me back to yard signs. You know, reason why I tell a lot of people to use yard signs, because this is something that you can go put out 100 of them and your phone will ring, right? It's about a guarantee. I will about guarantee you will get more than your money back on a yard signs. Now, if you're paying $10 a piece on yard signs, then you might not. But if you buy them at moneybushes.com, you get 100 of them. You're paying about $3-4 a piece for them. You're going to get your $400 back, right? That's one house wash, 2 house washes if you're 4 house washes if you're the $99 guy. You will get your money back out of those 100 yard signs. I will about guarantee it. And what happens is actually in my mentorship, I just went over this. And if you want to join the mentorship, it's actually open right now. I do have a few of them in there. But this is what happens. I'll tell you what happens. So what happens is we sit there and we go, man, you know what? This sucks. I don't want to do it this way. I know Jason told me not to put pressure washing. I know Jason told me to put pressure washing on it, but you know what? I think he's full of crap, and I am going to put house washing on this, right? And then you're like, well, Jason, those signs didn't work. And then, well, that's because you put 10 services on there and you didn't do what I told you to do. And so that's why it is important that you listen and do what I tell you to do. And so what happens is we get into, instead of planning out our marketing, so what I've been doing with our on our Thursday morning marketing call is doing this. We've talked about it for 3 weeks now, is planning, right? Planning our marketing. So what happens is when we get to there, we're not like, oh no, I'm out of signs and I don't have no signs and now I don't put out no signs. Or, oh no, and then I'm busy enough, I don't need to do this and now I'm done, right? And so this is why it is important that we do the planning now. If we plan now, then we can see. Now, everybody in my membership had been in my mentorship that I've talked about this, has had a year, they worked last year. So they kind of know what their average ticket is. They know what their close rate is, and they know these things. And so when we know these things, all it is basic math. Now we can start putting this over into our business. And so this is what happens, and this is why it is important that we know our numbers and we do our marketing strategies. And so what I was going to get at is I see a lot of people be like, oh, this is going to work, and oh, this is going to work, and oh, you should use this company, oh, you should use that company. And what I'm going to say is just be careful when you get told something about using a company or another company. I'm dealing with somebody on here right now that has gotten screwed because they went with the company that everybody told him to go with, or this one YouTuber told him to go with. And now he is losing everything because they don't give you nothing back out of it. So it is important that we make sure that we follow people that know what they're talking about, and that's not going to send you down the wrong road. And so this is something that I get to deal with a lot of this. This ain't the first time that I'm dealing with this. This is about the 3rd or 4th time that I'm dealing with somebody that has gotten screwed because they went down this road and they've gotten screwed. I've gotten screwed. That's the reason why I teach marketing. The reason why I went and spent about $20,000 to learn how to do marketing is because I spent about $5,000 or $8,000 on marketing that didn't worth a crap. Because even in the industry when I started 10 years ago, oh, you want to use this person, and there's still a person in the industry and one of the main groups that still push this person, but they're not very good. And they're good in his situation because he does one thing that's very, when I said it, he stays in his lane, right? He does a little bit of the house washing but parking garages, that is his main boat. And she did good for him, right? And so that's one way to do it. Now, for everybody else, not so much out there, right? And so these are things that we have to think about when we're dealing with other people telling us what to do. And so the reason why I push this here so much of the yard signs, there's a reason why I push it. Because this is a proven fact that will make you money over and over and over. Now, I get it. There's certain areas you can't put out yard signs. I get that. And you will get fined, and you've gotten fined. I get it. That's fine. Then you can't do it. But not to say you can't do it around that city, not to say you can't do it out in the county, right? A lot of times I hear excuses of this one city starting to fine me. Instead of going to all the other cities, they want to sit there and complain about the one city. And that's going to keep us holding back from scaling. Number two is, this is something that's going to hold us back from scaling, is looking at marketing as an expense and not as an investment. You know, I get it. It's hard to spend money on marketing. It's like money you don't see. You know, people love to buy equipment. People love to buy pressure washing equipment because you can see it and it's fancy and it's all sexy, and man, it just looks good, right? And man, look at my rig, right? I got 8-gallon, man. I got 10-gallon, man. I got a soft wash system with the air pressure, and man, look how awesome that is. And that's 20 grand right there. And I'm going to grow my business with that 20 grand. But they won't spend a dime on marketing. And they'll sell that $20,000 rig for $10,000 rig within a couple months, because they'll take a loss on it, because they don't know how to get the phone to ring. If you can't get this thing to ring, I don't care what kind of trailer you got. It ain't going to do you no good. If we can get this to ring, it'll do you all the money in the world, right? And so we can figure out how to get stuff working. But if we can't figure out how to get this to work and start ringing, and you start answering the freaking phone, I get so tired of people not answering the phone. That is right there is the dumbest thing that anybody can do is not answer the phone. And so this is what we have to do to make sure that we get that phone to ring. So how do we get the phone to ring, and how do we scale it? Well, we got to see what works. And so one thing that as we're scaling, it's a good idea to start tracking your marketing. Put phone numbers that are tracking numbers, do different things, so that way we can say, all right, where's my calls coming in? Where are they not coming in at? What am I spending money on that's not very good? And where am I spending money that's doing really well, right? And so these are things that we have to look at and we have to do. And this is one of the hardest things for people to understand. I get it, you know, and I get it, all the other stuff. I'm too old for that computer there stuff. Well, you know what? You learned how to drive when you were 16 and you figured that out. You learned how to do other things. So why can't you learn how to do this, right? You can learn how to do Facebook, and you can learn how to do Google My Business, and you can learn how to do it. Is it the fun, sexy thing of looking at the green go clean? No, it's not. But you know what? It's the green that goes in your pocket that's more important than the green going away on the house, right? Is it more important to have green in your pocket or green on the house going away? I want the green in my pocket. I want the green to go away from the house and into my pocket, as in cash, right? That's what's important. And them are things that we have to think about scaling. And then once we get the marketing and that, we got to build a team. How do we build a team? It's you got to be a good leader. If you can't lead people and you tell people this is this, and this, you're going to suck as a leader. And so you got to learn how to be a leader, not a manager, a leader. And when you become a good leader, you will grow a business to multi-millions of dollars, because you can do it. Anybody in here can grow their business to over $1 million. I'm not saying you can't, and I won't say you can't, but anybody in here can definitely build their business to over $1 million. Now, is it easy? No, it's not. And you can definitely grow it over 6 figures, $100,000. I know you can. It's not that hard. It's put out 100 yard signs a week, or you do 100 signs a week, I guarantee you'll get to it. But I'll even say if you put out 50 yard signs a week, I would about guarantee you can get to over $100,000 just in pressure washing alone. 50 yard signs a week. Are you willing to go spend $200 or $150, $200 a week to go put out 50 yard signs and do it? I guarantee you will get your money back at the end of that. But when we build a team, we have to build a team. We have to be a great leader to build it. We got to start hiring and we got to start trusting people. We got to find the right people to put on the bus. You know, we can't be putting people on the bus that's the bus driver and he's in the back seat, right? The bus isn't going to go nowhere. And the kid that's in the back seat needs, and if he's in the driver's seat, that's for disaster. So we have to find the right people for the right seat in the buses. And when we do this, we will be able to get our business to go wherever we want. We can hire technicians, we can hire office staff, we can hire general managers, so that way we can back ourselves all the way out of the business and let it run by itself. And so this is things that we have to do for sure. If you need help with leadership, watch Jason and Jocko's podcast and books. Extreme Ownership is a awesome book to read, and even his book after that. And if you want other books about leadership, John Maxwell has a boatload. I think he has over 70 books on different types of leaderships and stuff, and I would highly recommend you to do one or both of those. So the next thing in scaling a business is navigating through the challenges. So if you set up your systems and you have a flaw in your system, it's going to be a little speck when it's just you. It's just going to be like this little speck that's the size of my pen there. But when we 10x our business, that speck is going to be 10x'd, right? It's going to grow a problem and bigger problem because we didn't fix this little problem or have a system to get it fixed. Now it just grows. And so that's the thing that we have to deal with challenges. Challenges are going to come. You just got to do it and make it happen, and you can do that. So these are ways that you can take and grow your business to where you want it to be. You know, you might not want to grow it. You might be happy, and that is fine. You can be happy. But I'm just telling you, if you want to grow it and scale it, these are the things that we have to do. But as we recap, you got to start building systems for it. Have a checklist, have different things that employee can do. And when you make this stuff, you've got to follow it. You can't be like, yeah, here's this checklist we have right here. Here's the checklist. I need you to fill this out. And then when you're on the truck, you never fill it out. You never take pictures. You never do anything, right? Well, that's a system ready to fail. You have to do it 100% because they're only going to do it 80%. If you do it 80%, guess what? They're only going to do it 60%. Right? So this is why we got to do it 120 so that maybe we might get them up to 90%. And so these are things that we have to do to be able to get on the bus and get moving with our stuff for that. All right. So I had a gentleman, he messaged me today, and I'm going to read what he put me. He had a couple questions, and I'm going to answer these questions on here, because I didn't feel like writing it out, and I would kind of get lazy sometimes. And so most of these questions are questions that everybody asks, and so we're going to just answer them on here. I just had my second job, organic cleaning with SH, and clean a greasy, rusty, and old paint driveway. I'm confused on how to do some things. If you could please help me explain to me what would it mean a lot. First thing is a guidance for chemicals for rust removal on concrete. So whenever we're dealing with anything on concrete, if it's organic, so if it's green moss, if it's tannin stains where the leaves fall, that's going to be an SH, right? That's organic. Anything organic is SH, right? So if we're looking for SH, organic, anything that grows, that's going to be bleach or SH. If it is a rust stain or a battery acid stain, then we're going to need an acid. So we're going to need something like F9, Rust Removal Plus. We're going to need something like oxalic acid. We're going to need something like that that's going to pull up a rust stain. There's a bunch of different ones that I just mentioned. There's not one that I particularly over the other one. Then if we're dealing with grease, right? If we're dealing with oils, if we're dealing with oil stains, things like that, then we need a good degreaser. I've used Purple Power. I've used a bunch of the high dollar ones, and so we need a degreaser. So if it's organic, we're using bleach, SH. So that's going to be mold, algae, tannin stains, anything that comes from a organic style staining. If it's not organic style staining, then it's going to be something, whether it's a degreaser or a thing. So that's how we can either remove rust from concrete, and also a good degreaser for a driveway. And then the last one is how do we remove old paint removal from a driveway? Should I use a turbo tip? That's always fun, but probably a turbo tip. You could use something like a stripper, like gel stripper, or soy gel, I believe it's called, or any type of stripper that you're going to pour down on this stuff, and you're going to let it sit for a while, and then you're going to sit there, and it will make things come up a lot easier. And then last, he asked surfactant for house wash and window wash. Surfactant for that. I like, the only reason why I kind of use a surfactant is more for the smelling side of things. I want to try to kill the bleach. Otherwise, like DJ, don't hardly use very little surfactant, or I wouldn't either. I always use Southside's equipment, Roof Knot. It did well for the windows. If you're going to get something for that, make sure it does well from the windows. I know a lot of the other stuff will not make your windows look good. And so that's why I always use Roof Knot. Roof Knot was one that made your windows pretty much clean all the way without having to do a whole lot with it. So that is something. And then his last question is I struggle with how do I get my chemical injector working? Is that good enough to wash houses? So that's a two-part question. So the first question is I'm struggling with my downstream injector. So there's a couple things that can make a downstream injector not work right. Having the wrong J-rod with the tips in it, that's one way that can do it. If it's building too much pressure, it's not going to work. If you have too much hose on, if you got 300-400 feet of pressure wash hose, it's not going to work. Sometimes 200 feet of pressure wash hose won't work it either. So that is things to do it. Sometimes the gun itself can go bad, and the gun doesn't open up all the way, and that can cause it. So the way we do that is we make sure that we unhook the gun and see if it sucks that way. The last thing is you've got it in backwards. You hooked it up backwards. There's an arrow on it pointing away the way the water should flow. And so that is another way that it could be doing it. And then the last is if the hose is too big to fit on the barb and it's sucking air anywhere or it's collapsed, that's what your problems are for that. Now, number two question is a downstream injector good enough to do stucco? And the answer is yes and no. Most of your injectors are not going to be strong enough to do it, but you can get the Super Sucker from EnviroSpect, and it will draw enough flow for you so that way you can pull enough to actually clean that there. So those are the questions that someone emailed me, and it was easier just to do it on here, and I told him to watch my video tonight so that way he can see it here. Hey Jason, any idea the average use of SH on flat work for driveways? I was just trying to pencil out if I can make any money in an area with no mold. Yeah, there is. You can, because even so if you live in an area with no mold, your driveway still gets dirty, your concrete can still get dirty, and then you can clean that off for sure. How do I get the red clay off of construction site, off a new school? Acid. You need either a like aluminum brightener will pull it, or anything that's pretty strong acid is what will clean that up for you. A lot of people use aluminum brightener because you can go to Napa and go get it, or wherever and get it. Cleaning gutters is a different process, different chemical. A house wash will remove not 100% of the tiger striping. Um, then you get the yo-yo, busy, slow, busy, slow. Yep, people do it all the time. Uh, no one did anything great without people. That is true. Scaling has to have systems because your problems will also scale. That is true. Uh, Key tip: the training so you can teach your employees the way you want it done and done right away and move on to the next job. Train, 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 train. You can, and that is true. How much for you to come to Florida and help me scale my business? I am going to be in Florida doing a pressure washing training. You can go check out, where is that one at? This one here. KPW Train. I just got the hotel. I'll be sending out the information for it. And Savannah and Andrew will be there, or Andrew will be. And so we will be doing a pressure washing training. You can go check it out there. Pumpkin Plan is a great book. Don't start another flow that takes your attention off the first flow. And this is important. I see this a lot. I see that, Russell Brunson always says to make your first million, you don't try to do 10 businesses until you've made $1 million on your first one, right? And then you can start trying different things. And this is so true. There's a reason behind that, because you learn so much things. But because when you're starting out at 100,000 and you get to 200,000, you run into different things. If you go from 200,000 to 500,000, you're dealing with other things. If you go from 500 to $1 million, you go to other things. If we never get over the $100,000 mark, then we never learn how to do things to get over $100,000 mark, right? We don't know how to get to the next level. And so this is why it is important that we get to $1 million before we try to do and jump and do other things and do that. Yeah, I do. Right now, I'm actually working on. I have one coming out that will be way. So I have the template websites at kingofpressurewash.com, and then I'm actually coming up with a better one. I've built one already. I'm building a second one right now. I've kind of got to get the base of it, and then I can scale it from there. So that's what I'm working on right now, and mine will have extra options with the phone number and all kinds of cool things. And so right now I'm actually working on Chris's, and so I'm building it out right now. I don't have it all the way built out. Let's see if I got a picture of what it kind of looks like. Let me move that. Yeah, I can move. I'll show you. I'll give you a quick glimpse here. I think I can, if you want to see a quick glimpse of what I'm working on right now. This is the scene. So, that's a big head right there. So this is what it's looking like right now. And so I'm actually putting your pictures in. I'm putting it in toward your name. We're writing content for it. The different services, we're writing, putting more information in our reviews, frequently asked questions, putting the map of where we serve, the areas we serve, and all the pages that we will be doing it. And then all of these will actually get pages to it too. I don't know if you can see where all of these will get pages too. So you can see it'll have all the different services there, the areas we serve. So why is this not right? This is not right here. Okay, because I haven't changed this over yet, but and this was not my updated one. Let me see if this is an update here, because my services are wrong. Yeah, so North Myrtle Beach, Conway, Ainer, South, and then the about page, and then it will have a blog also. So this is the way we can keep growing our business through the blog. And I know I haven't changed this logo out yet, but that is what this will look like. I'm trying to come up with the price, what it's going to be, and what all I'm going to offer with that price, versus, because I can do a lot of different things with it. I'll be able to my callback text will be implanted in this. So as soon as you get the quote, it'll call you, it'll do all these different steps, and that will all be included with this. And then I don't know if I'm going to include it with it or add it as another price, but I'll be doing like citations to it. I'll be doing I can do social posting. I don't know. I haven't decided what I want to do when I grow up, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm kind of seeing what I want to do with it. So that's what I've got coming up right now. A $7 yard sign landed me a $5,000 job. That's pretty good. Not too shabby. Like painting and pressure washing yard signs doesn't work well. No, they do not work well at all. Anyone in the chat wash in Pennsylvania? How your success? A bunch of people are. Yep, push marketing and then you're slammed. Keeps the phone ringing. If you put marketing as the number one priority in your business, you will make a lot of money. I promise you, you will make a lot of money if you put marketing as the priority in your business. Nothing good happens in Pensacola. You got the college down there. F9 in my SH tank and not SH. No, F9 does not go in your SH tank. F9 and SH will blow up. It will not be pretty. F9 does not go in your bleach tank. F9 don't go in a bleach tank, period. You don't, because one drop of SH and acid will blow up. Will blow up. And that is very dangerous. I'm not sure how they can say signs aren't okay yet when it's election sign. They have 10 signs on every corner. Ain't that the truth? Marketing is key. It is the gas in the car, or it sits and no one there. If anyone needs a logo, this is so true on this here about how the market, the shiny car is the big 25,000, but if you don't put the gas in it, it don't go nowhere. Absolutely, I need to make sure I have a system for that. Thanks for the super chat. Greg Townsend making a couple 100,000 with a broke down Ford. Well, every Ford's going to be broke down though. And a 4 gallon a minute is a lot cooler than the guy with a $20,000 rig and no work. And even I got Wagner, Walter Wagner. He don't even have a soft wash system. He did close to, I think, almost 100,000 with a 4 gallon a minute pressure washer and a pump up sprayer. That's how he was doing his roof cleanings, was a pump up sprayer. What's the best software to get phone numbers? William, since you're on my website, I can hook you up with that. That ain't a problem. If you're not a computer person, then get someone to do it for you. Jason, is there a place online to find the higher end neighborhoods to do EDDM? Yes, there is. There's a couple things. You can look at the EDDM map, or you can join the membership, and I did a whole video on it because I don't remember what the name of it is. There's a map that shows where all the rich people are to a point, or you can use it. It doesn't work if you live in around a lake or something, because a lot of those people don't actually live there, so their money they live in a different city, and that's where that can get skewed a little bit. I agree. I need help in that area, so you cannot. Is it worth to hire part-time help for roof cleaning? Yes, it will save you a lot for that ground guy. Either that, or go get you some sprinklers. Get a couple sprinkler heads that you can put in there that spray back and forth, and that's a way that you can make sure that the solution is the solution, right? If you need help with leadership, watch Jason and Jocko's podcasts and books. Jason, there are a lot of new subdivisions with new concrete here in Austin. What is the safest way to wash without edging the concrete using 4 gallon Simpson to start? Don't put a pressure washer on it at all, unless they're a year to 2 years old. If they're less than that, you will mess them up in a heartbeat. Where can I find out more information about your membership? Right here, kingofpressurewash.com, kingofpressurewash.com. And if anybody wants to sign up to know when I go live, I know I've had quite a few. Always want to know when I'm going live. You can text this number right here. Text King to 859-696-1101, and I send a text out right before I go live. So then that way you can know when I go live and do that. Finding the right people to put on the bus is the easier said than done, my friend. And I didn't say it wasn't, but there is people. A lot of times I think a lot of people try to find someone that has experience, and that's a first mistake, right? We can teach people a lot of things, and so this is something that we have to think about. This is why I tell people to go to Chick-fil-A and hire people from Chick-fil-A, because we can teach them the job. We can't teach them real easy to do customer service and be good at customer service. And so this is why it is important that we find the right people. And I know a lot of times people say the young people don't want to work, but I call BS on that, because I can show you a lot of businesses that are making it to $1 million, $2 million, and they all have 18 or 19-year-olds on them. Right now, you might be cycling through those 18 and 19-year-olds, but there's a lot of kids out there that want to work. And I think this newer generation is willing to work way better than, the 22, 25, 30-year-olds right now. And so don't be hesitant to hire 18 and 19-year-olds. The businesses that I see that are growing, like I got a buddy that does concrete, and, he does concrete cleaning or concrete, the epoxy floors. And I went and taught his Christmas light guys, and he has 10 people there, and not even the people answering the phone were all under 22, 23 years old, right? So don't be afraid to hire young people and do things like that. Now, when you're old, you have to figure out how to work with young people and teach them and let them learn and let them do things and kind of do things, because if they're young, you know what? Maybe they're good at different things too that you can give them more, right? Hey, will you start posting on social media once a day? Will you start doing this? Will you start doing that? Let them take more responsibility. If they want it, let them take it. If they don't, then if they just want to come in and wash, then let them come in and wash. So do that. I have rust on curbs made for flower beds. So you don't want to spray that acid too far, because then it will kill other things. Let's see. Sodium hydroxide, best and cheapest for oil and grease removal. It definitely will work. Yes. James, I use mixed with SH for driveways. You don't need any surfactant in your house wash, better rinsing and cleaner windows. I only use surfactant for roofs. I have a question. I hate hardy board. Me too. Especially the dark blue. Me too. Or the gray stuff. The texture of it seems to hold some dirt, and I'm never happy with the finished result. And the other thing I hate about it is sometimes it is you got to worry about the color changing on it, and then if it's oxidized, there ain't much you can do with that either. Nathan speaking like Uncle G. Some good info out this week. Have y'all decided on a location for training in March? Johnson's Place, or just want to book the hotel might come? Yes, I did get the hotel. It's up. Shoot. It's a courtyard up closer to North Myrtle Beach. I'm filling out the paperwork for it now. How do you ask for reviews, if so? Hey, sir, will you give me a review? So you can make your review card like this, and we're going to ask for them this way, right? We're going to ask through email. We're going to ask through text. We're going to ask. We're going to ask when we first start, right? We're going to ask. And why are we asking? Because we're asking. This is another thing that I'm going to hit on too that a lot of people don't realize. And so Megan talked about this a little bit the other day on one of her lives, that she got a gutter clean out job it was a $1,400 job, but it took 17 touches to get that job signed. How many people follow up 17 times? That's my question. How many people follow up 5 times? How many people follow up at all? Right? Because following up is key in growing this business. As I talked about growing and scaling and marketing, that's part of this, right? Are you following up with the people that told you, I got to go talk to my husband, or I don't want this, right? Are you following up? or are you just letting that go away as a dead lead? Absolutely would love to come to an in-person training class any close to North Alabama. North Alabama. I'm having one in Myrtle Beach, and I'm having one in Florida, and I'll be having one in Cincinnati area. That's where I have them at right now. Jason, thought you wanted to be a fireman when you grew up. Laugh out loud. Oh, I did. And things, when I got older, I didn't want to do that no more. I got tired of seeing dead people. So for my psyche, I had to get out of there. And with that, I got to go to court maybe at the end of next month over something that happened 3-4 years ago on one of our runs. Can you use Responsibid with your new website? Yes, you can. Billy, what part of Alabama? Huntsville. With 50 signs a week, should I put it in your county or the next county over, or both? So I would do different. Like this week, I'm putting them here. Next week, I'm putting them here. I would find 4 different areas. What I would do 4 different areas. And so this week, I'm putting them here. Next week, I'm putting them here. Next week, I'm putting them here. Next week, I'm putting them here. And then the next week, the 5th week, I'm starting over and I'm doing them again, right? So that way you got a good area of everybody doing this. Can someone Google pressure washing in Rocky Mount, North Carolina? Curious where we are showing. Mr. Jason, debating moving back to my hometown in Montana State. There's only 130,000 people with 50-mile radius. Is that big enough market to do 1 million plus a year? I would say probably not. That's a little low on people. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying that's a little low on people. Are you planning any in-person in Midwest anytime? Like I say, I'll be doing one at Cincinnati, which is right at the Cincinnati airport. I'll be doing a couple there. So if you want to go, you can sign up at dates. KPW training, it'll tell you the dates. I will have one in Indianapolis also. That one is going to be in June, and that's going to be a Christmas light class also. My April one, I was planning on having one here in April in Cincinnati. It might have got moved. It will get moved because I got ISI that I'm going to that won't be there. When starting a company, what color should I stay away from? Depends, right? I mean, I would say yellow, but I got a guy that lives in Pittsburgh that he's yellow and black, right? Because, well, you know, those Pittsburgh people, as we beat them. Will 40-degree tips on a surface cleaner help with etching and clean? It may. Pay the workers properly and they will work. That helps. But you say that, but that's not the only thing that keeps people wanting working for you, right? This is something that I just read the book. I showed this book the last week, The Next 5 Moves, and he talks about it. If you've ever read the book, The 5 Love Languages, well, the 5 love languages work in business also. People like different things, right? I like to touch. I like when people touch me. That don't bother me. Some people, that makes them want to crawl out of their skin. Some people like when you give them money, right? And so that's some of that gift. Some of them might like a watch or things or different things as gifts, right? They might not want money, but they want gifts. And so that when you learn who your people are and what they like, and you start giving, you might have a guy that just likes to come up and give words of encouragement, and that makes him feel like on cloud 9. You might like a guy, there might be a guy that likes to be called out in front of other people telling how good of a job he's doing. You might have people that hate that, but right. And so it's about finding what people want, because I've paid people from $15, $10 an hour all the way up to $40 an hour, and money don't always doesn't motivate people. And so these are things that we have to learn so that we can grow and scale. And so this kind of comes back to leadership and learning how to lead and learning how to put people in charge that want to be in charge, and patting the people on the back that want to be patted on the back, right? And so those are things that we have to look at. I just booked a huge job because the customer said the other companies never answered the phone, but I answered. It's amazing how answering your phone will get you money. To the question of hiring part time for roof washing, our rule is no one on the roof or ladder when operating by themselves. Yeah, I don't know about the 19-year-old. Seems like it gets worse, but I don't know for sure. Um, can you give me a coupon code for the monthly membership? She was going to do something for Valentine's Day, but I think I screwed that up. Imagine that, me screwing something up. She got all mad at me. I don't have any discount codes as of right now. The best discount code is either the yearly or the um, quarterly. If you go into membership and it'll say if you want to upgrade, so instead of $99 a month, you can do $199 for every 3 months. So that is your discount. Who's the queen of pressure washing? My wife, I would say. Why would you follow up 17 times unless you time wisely? Well, a lot of it's automated. A lot of it's going out in text and emails, and there was probably 2 or 3 phone calls on that. But why would I do that? Because it was a $14 or $1,500 job. That's why. 5 minutes of time to make $1,500. I'll do that every day. Or how about 50 in every other week? When will we offer training in the Philippines? Well, I've got some guys in the Philippines that do some of my work. Dead people are gross. I would agree on that. When are you and Donovan getting together for Christmas light class? We will we are having we will be together in February. If you go to clctraining.com, I believe, and there will be talk about permanent lighting. It's kind of the convention. You can also do GutterCon. If you want to do my training also, you can go to Pressure Wash. You can go to KPL Train, and one of the packages, the middle packages, will get you into my training and GutterCon and the light convention. So that's all on there. How do you feel about using a drone on a job site for estimates and looking for damage on areas on top of the house and gutter cleaning and all of that stuff? I think it's a great idea. I'm going to ask my customers their favorite restaurant this year, referral and a 5-star review to get a $30 gift card rather than my customer acquisition cost to my customers. Yep. I may post in the Facebook group some of the locations I place yard signs to give you guys some ideas because a lot of signs stay up all the time. Message. Well, and here's the thing, some of it depends on the city. I've seen people put them up on poles with the Gaiman pole and they still get taken down. People send Jason some super chat. He's giving you free advice. How are you automating that? Through my stuff, through my little brain, through different things, how I'm automating it. You follow up 17 times because that makes you different and close those jobs. That definitely sets you apart. Can I use a commercial surface cleaner with a 2.5? You can. It probably ain't going to do a whole lot. You're probably going to be really slow. I'm on my second year. Started my first year with a 2.3. I did very well, but now I'm about to use my income tax to go full force. What's your best advice? I'm great at closing deals. I would do 4 or 5 gallon. I wouldn't get crazy unless you have money in the bank, but it don't sound like you do. And it sounds like you may need to raise your prices because you have to use your income taxes to upgrade. So that are some things I would tell you to do. How were we doing marketing, right? It doesn't matter what it is, but we got to do marketing. How do we get our average ticket up? How do we do this? So Moses was talking about him he wants to do over 300,000 in like 3 or 4 months. And it ain't about equipment. It's about yard signs galore, 6,000 yard signs. Are you willing to put out 6,000 yard signs? That's what gets your business growing. That's how we get our average ticket up. right? These are the things we got to do. I use a you're probably, that's all you're, with a 2.3, that's all you're going to be able to use is that 15-inch surface cleaner. You've got to get a bigger pressure washer to use a bigger surface cleaner. If you want to go check out my in-person training, either with Chris or myself, the one day, it is a little bit cheaper because it's only going to be one day. It'll be a one long day. That is one. The other thing is we will be having one in Myrtle Beach with Chris. Chris is a great guy to learn from. He did about 600,000 this year. He opens his books. He shows you everything. He shows you where all his leads have come from, how much each lead brings in, and he will be teaching a whole lot for that. Also, right now with King of Pressure Wash, you do get the template website right now. It is a website. I'm going to try to get 2 or 3 more templates so that way you can pick which template you like instead of just the one. I haven't done that yet because I'm trying to figure out this other stuff here. And once I get that done, I will have more of that. But other than that, I hope you all have an amazing, amazing CRM for pressure washing business. Research is overwhelming. Some of it depends on how much funds you have. If you're on a broke fund, you can do Yardbooks is free. Joist, I believe, is free. Or you can start going up. It's a template WordPress. It is not a WordPress site. The CRM, you can start with Marquette. You can move up to Jobber. House Call Pro has sucky. I don't really like House Call Pro. It's got crappy customer service. Jobber has amazing customer service, but you got to have deep pockets and money coming in a whole lot. So those are some things. If you go to kingofpressurewash.com, also right now I do have a few spots opened up for the mentorship. And my mentorship is every Thursday. Well, it might change, but it is one-on-one with me. You get volley access. So basically you ask me all your questions. I answer them right then and there. There's actually a group of us. So there's actually going to be a group of us. That way, if I don't answer it, other people can give advice. It's not just about Jason giving advice. And so there's people in there that are making $40,000 to $50,000. There's people in there that's doing well over $100,000, $200,000. Their goal is $250,000 this year. Some of them $300,000, $400,000. So this is what the mentorship is. So if you want to check that out, you can go to kingofpressurewash.com/mentorship. But again, other than that, I'll see you back on Sunday night. I don't know, but Jason is supposed to come on. Jason Hefner, he's been on a couple times. He is a great person. He is a full-time fireman, and he is a full-time fireman, part-time pressure washing. But last year he did $250,000. So you won't want to miss that. He's always great to have on. But other than that, I hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you all later.